What if I told you that the Toronto Blue Jays just pulled off one of the most genius, under-the-radar signings of the entire offseason? What if I told you that while everyone was obsessing over Dylan Cease and celebrating the Shane Bieber retention, the front office quietly locked down a potential ACE who dominated an entire professional baseball league like a video game character set to easy mode? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cody Ponce era. And trust me, you're going to want to remember this name because what's about to unfold in 2026 could be legendary. Picture this. A 31-year-old right-hander, once dismissed as a fringe reliever by the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, travels across the Pacific Ocean searching for redemption, for purpose, for that one opportunity to prove the doubters wrong. He lands in the Korea Baseball Organization, a league often underestimated by North American scouts, and what does he do? He doesn't just succeed, he dominates. He doesn't just win games, he obliterates the competition. In 2025, Cody Ponce became the KBO's most valuable player. Let that sink in for a moment. The MVP, not just a solid season, not just pretty good numbers, the absolute best player in the entire league. He led the KBO in wins with 17 victories, posted an absolutely microscopic 1.89 ERA that would make even the greatest pitchers jealous. And here's where it gets insane. He set the league record for strikeouts in a single season with 252 punch-outs over 180.2 innings pitched. 252 strikeouts. That's averaging over 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's not just dominance, that's surgical precision. That's batters walking back to the dugout, shaking their heads, wondering what just happened. That's the kind of performance that makes hitting coaches lose sleep at night, trying to figure out how to solve this puzzle. And now he's wearing Blue Jays blue. Now he's part of what could legitimately be one of the most dangerous pitching rotations in Major League Baseball. Think about this lineup for a second. Dylan Cease bringing that electric stuff from San Diego, Shane Bieber returning healthy and hungry to prove he's still an elite ace, and now Cody Ponce, the KBO's most feared pitcher, ready to make his statement on baseball's biggest stage. The Blue Jays signed Ponce to a 3-year, $30 million contract, and I'm telling you right now, if this man brings even 70% of what he showed in Korea to the Rogers Center, this contract will look like highway robbery by mid-season. We're talking about a potential steal of epic proportions, the kind of signing that makes general managers look like absolute geniuses when the awards are handed out. But here's what makes the story so compelling, so emotional, so absolutely perfect for baseball fans who love a good redemption arc. Cody Ponce was written off. The Pirates gave up on him. He was labeled as someone who couldn't stick in the majors, relegated to mop-up duty, never given a real chance to showcase what he could truly accomplish with consistent opportunities and refined mechanics. So, what did he do? He didn't give up. He didn't retire. He didn't accept that narrative. Instead, he traveled halfway around the world, worked on his craft, increased his velocity, we'll get into those mechanical changes later, and absolutely dominated professional baseball at the highest level available to him. That's not just perseverance, that's the stuff of legends. That's the kind of story that gives hope to every player who's ever been told they're not good enough. Now, let's dive deep into what makes Cody Ponce such a fascinating addition to this Blue Jays roster, because the surface-level statistics, as impressive as they are, only tell part of this incredible story. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Can KBO success translate to Major League Baseball success? It's a fair question, and it's one that skeptics will absolutely hammer home. Yes, MLB hitters are several talent levels above KBO competition. Yes, the quality of at-bats is significantly higher. Yes, the scouting reports are more detailed, the game planning more sophisticated, the adjustments faster and more precise. But, and this is a massive, but we've seen this translation work before. We've watched players dominate in Asia and bring that success to North America. The key isn't whether the competition level is identical. The key is whether the skills are transferable, whether the stuff plays against elite competition, whether the mentality can handle the pressure. And here's what's so exciting about Ponce's development. His velocity has increased. Think about that for a moment. This isn't a 25-year-old prospect still growing into his body. This is a 31-year-old veteran who somehow found extra MPH on his fastball through mechanical refinements and dedicated training. According to reports, Ponce has unlocked something fundamental in his delivery, something that not only adds velocity, but improves command and deception. When MLB.com's Keegan Matheson describes Ponce as someone who seems to have unlocked something, that's not hyperbole. That's recognition of legitimate mechanical evolution. Pitchers don't accidentally strike out 252 batters in 180 innings. That's not luck. That's not weak competition making you look good. That's dominance through superior stuff, command, and sequencing. Let's break down what Ponce brings to the Blue Jays rotation specifically. The comparison that Matheson makes to Chris Bassett is perfect, and here's why. Bassett provided the Blue Jays with exactly what they needed in recent seasons: innings consistency, the ability to attack hitters fearlessly, and the capacity to pitch deep into games to preserve a bullpen that desperately needed rest. If Ponce can replicate even a portion of what Bassett provided, giving Toronto 180-plus innings of sub 3.50 ERA baseball with strikeout rates in the mid-20s percentile, this signing becomes an absolute home run. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ponce's strikeout rate in Korea suggests he might be capable of even more than what Bassett provided. Think about the strategic implications for manager John Schneider. With Cease, Bieber, and potentially Ponce all capable of pitching 7+ innings regularly, the bullpen pressure evaporates. Those late-season collapses that have plagued Toronto in recent years? Much harder to experience when your starting rotation is consistently giving you length and quality. And let's talk about the financial aspect of this move, because it's absolutely brilliant. $30 million over 3 years for a potential mid-rotation starter, or better, is incredible value in today's market. Compare that to what other teams are paying for similar production. We're seeing fifth starters command $15 to $20 million annually in free agency. If Ponce performs anywhere close to his KBO levels, the Blue Jays are paying pennies on the dollar for legitimate ace-caliber production. The psychological impact cannot be understated either. Imagine being a hitter in the AL East preparing for a series against Toronto and looking at the probable pitching matchups. Cease on Monday with his devastating slider, Bieber on Wednesday with that legendary curveball, and then Ponce on Friday with his newfound velocity and KBO-proven strikeout arsenal. That's exhausting for opposing lineups. There's no easy night in that rotation. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of this entire situation is the motivation factor. Cody Ponce has something to prove. He's not a highly paid superstar resting on past accomplishments. He's a hungry veteran with a chip on his shoulder the size of the Rogers Center. He knows people doubt whether his success will translate. He knows scouts are skeptical. And if there's one thing we've learned about professional athletes, it's that nothing fuels performance quite like proving doubters wrong. So, where does this leave us? What are the broader implications of the Cody Ponce signing for the Toronto Blue Jays 2026 season and beyond? Let's start with the immediate impact. The Blue Jays rotation, which was already looking formidable with Cease and Bieber, now has legitimate depth. In baseball, depth isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Injuries happen. Fatigue sets in. Performance fluctuates. Having a third starter who can potentially provide ace-caliber production creates a safety net that most teams would kill to possess. But think bigger. Think about what this means for Toronto's postseason aspirations. The AL East is a brutal division. The Yankees aren't going anywhere, the Orioles are loaded with young talent, the Rays always find ways to compete, and the Red Sox are perpetually dangerous. To win this division, to secure a playoff spot, you need elite starting pitching. You need guys who can shut down opposing lineups in crucial September games when everyone matters. Ponce gives Toronto that weapon. It's still an if until we see him perform against MLB competition, but if he brings that 1.89 ERA mentality, that 252 strikeout dominance, that ability to attack hitters fearlessly into the American League, the Blue Jays suddenly become one of the most dangerous teams in baseball. And let's not forget the developmental aspect here. Ponce spent 4 years refining his craft in Japan and Korea. 4 years of facing professional hitters, adjusting his mechanics, studying film, working with different coaching philosophies. That's not wasted time. That's a masterclass in pitching development. He's not the same pitcher who struggled with Pittsburgh. He's evolved, matured, and most importantly, he's confident. Confidence in pitching is everything. You can have the best stuff in the world, but if you don't trust it, if you're tentative on the mound, hitters will destroy you. Ponce comes to Toronto having just dominated an entire professional league. That's the kind of confidence that translates, that carries over, that makes pitchers dangerous. Now, let's address the potential concerns, because I'm not here to blow smoke. I'm here to give you the real analysis. The biggest question mark is obvious. How will this stuff play against MLB's elite hitters? The Aaron Judges, the Shohei Ohtanis, the Juan Sotos of the world? These aren't KBO hitters who might see one elite pitcher all season. These are generational talents who face elite pitching every single night. The adjustment period could be rocky. There might be growing pains. Ponce might need a month or two to recalibrate, to understand how MLB hitters approach at-bats differently, to recognize that the margin for error is razor thin at this level. But here's why I'm optimistic. The Blue Jays aren't asking Ponce to be their ace. They're not putting the entire season on his shoulders. With Cease and Bieber ahead of him in the rotation, Ponce can settle into that third or fourth starter role, face slightly easier competition, and gradually build confidence against MLB lineups. That's the perfect scenario for a player making this transition. And if he struggles, if the adjustment proves too difficult, the Blue Jays still have options. They can move him to the bullpen where his stuff might play even better in shorter bursts. They can adjust his role, give him time in AAA if necessary, work with him on specific mechanical adjustments. The 3-year contract provides flexibility, which is exactly what you want when taking calculated risks on high-upside players. But I genuinely believe, and I'm putting my reputation on the line here, that Cody Ponce is going to shock people in 2026. I think we're going to look back at this signing in September and wonder how every team didn't pursue him more aggressively. I think the Blue Jays front office is going to look absolutely brilliant for identifying this opportunity and acting decisively. This is the kind of move that separates good organizations from great ones. It's not the flashy, headline-grabbing signing that dominates SportsCenter for 3 days. It's the smart, calculated, high-upside move that pays massive dividends when executed correctly. So here's my challenge to you, the fans watching this right now. Keep your eyes on Cody Ponce this spring training. Watch how he attacks hitters. Watch his velocity reports. Watch how he handles the pressure of competing for a rotation spot. Because I'm telling you right now, this man is going to be special. The Blue Jays pitching staff could legitimately be one of the best in baseball next season, and Cody Ponce might just be the X factor that nobody saw coming. From KBO MVP to potential MLB breakout star, this is the kind of story that makes baseball beautiful. What do you think? Can Ponce translate his KBO dominance to Major League Baseball? Is this the steal of the offseason? Smash that like button if you believe in the Cody Ponce breakout, and drop your predictions in the comments below. I want to hear your take on this fascinating addition to the Blue Jays rotation. This is going to be one incredible season to watch unfold.